What's going on, everybody? Welcome back again, here to another video on my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about a weapon that I don't see anyone talk about, and after trying it myself, I'm kind of a little bit confused why I don't see anyone talking about it. Now, this weapon is, it's a throwing knife. It's not one of the top tier, weapon types in the game that people like to use, but it's quite interesting when it comes to it. So, what we decided to go for here on this build is we decided to go for, we get a little bit of base damage, we get our crit up, our crit damage up, because we are going to be getting massive crit numbers from Creeping Bullseye and one of our incarnon pads, which I will be showing you. And then we just run corrosive and heat, double primed elemental mods like I talk about so often, and then we run pistol acuity. Now, you would think a little bit weird to run this with the way that the incarnon works, increasing your multi-shot when you go into the incarnon form, but I'm going to tell you something interesting. These builds are actually quite funny. Since this weapon has such great critical damage numbers and critical chance values that it can obtain, pistol acuity is actually a really solid option. Now, they did fix this. It is not multiplicative anymore. But what's nice is galvanized shot on the incarnate form of this weapon is actually multiplicative damage. So we get 120% multiplicative damage per element on the target, which is going to be really nice for us. So what I'm going to show you guys here is I have this build. Here's the incarnate traits. Let me show you this. So this is what the evolution is. Weak point hits, change incarnate, transmutation, alt fire transmutes, switching back will expend any remaining charge. Projectiles seek headshots, so it has a seeking function, which makes it easier to use acuity. Though it says and have increased multi-shot, and we are actually sticking our multi-shot to 1 since we are using acuity. So you may think that's a little bit weird, but what I'm going to show you here is actually quite interesting. So if enemies are below half HP, you get 200% damage increase, which is really nice, and you get plus 70 base damage with this. The other option is 100% multi-shot, but I would only run this if you know you're going to be using a channeled ability, like you're going to keep Gloom up the whole time or something along those lines. Secondary, this is always quality of life, so you choose what you want here. I went for projectile speed, but you can go reload speed, you can go base mag cap, it's really up to you. And then for the final evolution here, the evolutions really aren't great if you're trying to like bolster one specific area. This isn't really fantastic as far as like we have right now with this setup. Swapping from our primary, we have 58% base crit and 4.6x base crit. Like, that's really, really solid. So we're going to be abusing just raw damage on this build alongside the multiplicative damage of Galvanized Seal. So what I'm going to show you first right now is I'm going to show you what this looks like. Here we go. I'm going to spawn in some level 230 Kuba Heavy Gunners, and I'm just going to show you this weapon. Now, it's like, okay, it's all right. It looks like it's doing some solid damage, quite impressive. Now, you come in the incarnate form. Now, look, this will seek headshots like that. You see how it's seeking the headshots out? So you don't have to be entirely accurate with this. So Deadhead is a perfect option for this. Now, the reason I talked about this is now you can see we're doing millions of damage, but they only have viral on them. Like, okay, that's pretty impressive. A couple million damage with viral. Okay, but now if you actually use like a primer with a few elements on them, we're getting numbers like this. And these numbers are actually pretty impressive. Like, these aren't like numbers just to scoff at. Like 119 million. I mean, this weapon is a weapon you can get so early in the game, just like I said with my Furious video, and it still has the multiplicative damage even outside of the incarnate form. So you can still do damage numbers, that look like this. But when you go into the incarnate form, it does a ton of damage. I mean, when I say a ton of damage, I mean a ton of damage because the stats are just that much higher. All you have to do is just swap your weapons around. If you wanted to bring big swap could be perfect for this because you're constantly swapping between, your primary weapon and your secondary weapon. And yeah, so I wanted to put this out just because I feel like I should see more people using this weapon when I don't. This is solid power. I mean, this is more than enough damage to take out level cap cascade units. It's only about 25 to 30 million damage to take them out, whereas the level cap disruption is more around, with the damage reduction, still about 135 million on Kappa. So, this is going to do you good in most content in the game anyway. I thought it was really cool that a weapon that I've never seen anyone talk about can do things like that. I'll probably be making a multi-shot build, just to see how that compares up to this soon. But I was just so impressed by this, I wanted to get it out to you guys. So let me know what you guys think of this weapon. And yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys.